Welcome to the Doggy Dutch Audio Stories, where weekly card readings open into reflections on manifestation, systems, sovereignty, and everyday life. Brought to you by the Etsy shop Alchemy of Me. The Line is Not the Limit coloring book and the Walking the Universe ecosystem for manifestation. Today's story is titled Before the Light. Dutch has been reflecting on his social justice and manifestation oracle card pull, a reading drawn using his Walking the Universe cards, which can be found inside the book Walking the Universe by Dr. Siobhan Ballasing Williams, available from Amazon as well as from Barnes & Noble. The cards that came forward for the oracle reading were Rekindle Flow with Light, Integrate Ease with Enoughness, Surrender Attachment and Fear, Emerge Free and Fierce. Dutch has been letting the cards sit beside him. He has been carrying the reading quietly and noticing what reveals itself. One morning, before the dawn of daylight, the cards spoke to him. Dutch found himself awake early, before the sun rose, not restless, not rushed, just awake. Although the house was quiet, and the light outside had not yet arrived, something in him had. He felt drawn to his Walking the Universe manifestation coloring book. He opened it and found a coloring page that matched the card, Rekindle Light with Flow. As he sat with the book open, the prompt on the page below the coloring waited. To rekindle flow and light means... While his mind reflected on the prompt, he picked up his coloring tools and began. There was no plan for how the page should look, no decision about process. He allowed the image on the page to guide him and followed the flow of the colors that called to him. As he colored, Dutch realized he was not thinking about the reading so much as moving with it. The light had not come from the sun yet, but it was there with him. It came from attention, from showing up, from letting color arrive before daylight did. And this, he thought, is the card Rekindle Light with Flow. Stroke by stroke, color moved onto the page, filling some spaces, leaving others open, finding its own rhythm. Dutch noticed how easily it flowed, not forced, just moving. Each stroke held. Enoughness was not something he decided. It was something he noticed, and from that came ease. Dutch smiled as he thought, I am experiencing the card integrate ease with enoughness. As he reflected, Dutch realized there was no attachment to how the page would turn out, no gripping the outcome, no pressure to make it become anything beyond what it already was. And Dutch thought this is the card Surrender Attachment and Fear. In that absence of pressure, something steady appeared, not loud, not performative, just present, like the page itself, once blank, now holding color with clarity and strength. A kind of freedom that could be felt quietly, the kind that appears when nothing is forced. Dutch paused, realizing that this was a card emerged free and fierce. And he thought, this is what the universe walking with me is like. The sun was still on its way outside, but inside, light, ease, enoughness in the cards had already arrived. That morning, Dutch understood something simple. The prompt Rekindle Light with Flow had been answering itself all along. The cards in his morning coloring revealed that rekindling flow and light did not require waiting for brightness. It meant beginning gently, paying attention, letting presence arrive before proof. Dutch was realizing that light had entered long before sunrise, in the quiet, in the coloring, in the willingness to sit with the page before the day began. The cards in his reading were helping him see that not every beginning announces itself loudly. Sometimes light arrives first as attention, as presence, as a quiet decision to sit with what is already there. Dutch had often thought light arrived when something outside changed, but this morning, the cards were helping him see that light could begin before the sun, before proof, before anything visible had fully appeared. It could begin in how gently he entered the moment, in how he allowed color, reflection, and stillness to meet him before the day asked anything of him. Dutch realized that sometimes flow begins the moment he stops asking for a sign and simply enters what is already here. And for Dutch, that morning was not just coloring before sunrise. It was his answer to the page. It was noticing that some forms of light arrive from within first. The end. If something in this met you, take a breath with Dutch and let it simmer for a moment. Let's breathe in. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold together. 4, 3, 2, 1. And now we exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Thanks for listening. Until next time, keep noticing what reveals itself along the way.